Hello everybody and welcome back to our second loop of 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Last time we saw what was behind door number 4. Well, the second thing that was behind door number 4, the kitchen. We escaped out of a freezer. So today the paths are going to converge. But I will show off the special stuff that we get because we went through door 4, but after like a little break in the action, like a little fade out and fade in, then we'll be back in speed up territory. I'm going to make it a point to show off the dialogue we would have got if we talked to Ace down the hallway, because everything is going to essentially be the same once everybody meets up and they decide to like check out the doors. Minor spoilers, but I mean, we're about to see that play out in like 5 minutes or so. But yeah, then after that we will go through one of the other doors that we didn't go through last time. You'll see what happens. Anyway, I stepped out of the kitchen and into a hallway that looked rather familiar. A metal grate stretched from wall to wall. Beyond it were 2 elevators and the entrance to the kitchen. They had entered the kitchen from one door and come out the other. That meant their map of the ship's interior was accurate. They laid the map out in front of them and began to discuss their next step. There were 4 possible routes: A, B, C, and D. First, A and B. A and B both seem to connect to an L-shaped room. However, the 2 doors that lead to the room were both locked and could not be opened. Next was Route C. This goes all the way to the main staircase. That means it's door 5, one of the numbered doors. Then do you think we would meet up with the other 4 after this hallway? No, I don't think we will. Why not? Look. There, by the stairs. See how the gate is opened? When we went to the kitchen, it was closed. But it's open now. What do you think that means? They opened it. Most likely. Then if we take Route C, we're going backwards. That would be pointless. Then that means all 4 looked at the map. They all looked at the staircase, its lazy curve leading down, deeper into the ship. Route D, then. D it is. Yep, Route D. Then we're set. They jogged down the stairs until they reached the C deck. Just to be sure, they kept going to check the deck beneath. Yeah, just like I thought. Deck D is totally underwater. Just like the bottom of the central staircase. The water gazed back at them, its smooth surface like a great mirror. As ominous as it was, Junpei took at least some comfort from the fact that the level hadn't gone up much since the last time he'd seen it. They turned back to C deck. It didn't take them long to find the 2 elevators in front of the stairs. They looked identical to the elevators on the top floor, with one exception. These elevators had a card reader on the wall between them. On the card reader was a strange mark. Hey, look, it's Lotus's symbol. Huh? See, it's the woman's symbol with a thorn on it. That seems like... Yeah, you might want to be careful there. Ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. Lotus had taken hold of Junpei's hair. She began to shake him violently, and he thought he heard a low growl coming from her throat. Also, my mic is picking something up when it shouldn't be? That's somewhat better. Such violence. Junpei began to wonder if she was not the devil itself. With an uncomfortable smile, June spoke up. This is a Mercury symbol. The thorn symbolizes the wings on Hermes' staff. Herpes, whatever. We can't get this thing to work. These elevators aren't going anywhere. In other words, we need a key card with the Mercury symbol on it. Probably. They gave up on the elevator and returned to the stairs. The hallway stretched out to the left. A great many doors lined both sides of the hallway. They weren't sure how many, but certainly enough to be discouraging. Damn it, if we try and search all of these, the sun's gonna go down before we've done half of them. I think the sun already set. I have a feeling the ship is the only thing that's going to be going down anytime soon. That's even worse. Well, we can come back to this hallway later. Let's check the hallway on the other side, shall we? Frustration and fear building, they walked back to the stairs. To their right was a small hallway. Quickly, they headed into it. It was approximately the same size as the alcove in front of the stairs. The hallway led toward the stern. At the end was a set of double doors. Let's open it. Junpei nodded and grabbed the one closest to him. He gave it a small tug and felt it move. It was unlocked. Thrilled to have found an unlocked door, he threw it open. Junpei didn't know what to make of what he saw. He simply stood, unable to speak. The others simply stared open-mouthed. After a few long moments, Santa managed to speak. What the hell is this? A massive room stretched out in front of them, more a cavern than a room. Its vastness was oppressive, and it bore down on the four companions. It was not empty, however. The entire room was filled with lines upon lines of beds. They were simple things, little more than pipe and thin mattresses. Is this a hospital? He had at last been able to put a name to the harsh scent that pervaded the room. The room swam with the harsh, biting smell of antiseptic. In the center of the room were shelves stacked with medicine, and a number of medical devices, the function of which Junpei did not know. More importantly, however, on the back wall of the room were 4 doors. 3 of them were emblazoned, with large single-digit numbers made with thick red paint. The door on the left was labeled 3. The second door from the left had no number, but the third had been given a 7. And the rightmost door had an 8. There could be no doubt they were numbered doors. It did strike Junpei as strange, however, that the door between 3 and 7 should be blank. What, he wondered, could it mean? Let's take a look at the doors. Yes, that sounds like a good plan. Junpei headed toward the doors, weaving his way between the beds. He started with door 3 on the left and moved to the right until he reached door 8. I do not know what he was expecting. It's no use. Well, of course. If it was that easy to open these doors, what would be the point of the nonary game? We have to activate the red or the numbered doors won't. Wait a minute. What's wrong? Look, the display on the red. There's nothing on it. Huh? Don't you remember? The red at the central staircase? If no one was inside, it said vacant. Oh yeah, you're right. But this one... there's nothing on it. Right? I wonder if it's broken. Only one way to find out. It didn't respond. All 4 took turns placing their hands over the red, but it refused to respond. They pulled at the lever and still it did nothing. As they soon discovered, it wasn't only the red for door 8 that was behaving strangely. The red on door 7 also refused to respond. And door 3 was similarly silent. None of them would respond. What did it mean? Haha, I knew it. They're broken. Zero sure sucks at maintenance. No, that's impossible. You really think Zero, who prepared all of this, would make such a stupid, simple mistake? Maybe, but that doesn't explain why this thing ain't working. It was at that moment that they heard a voice from behind them. I believe the bottom of the device has been removed. They spun around to see... Snake! But it was more than just Snake. Ace, Clover, and 7 quickly filed into the room as well. Although they were glad to see one another, it wasn't terribly surprising that they had. If it had been the other party who'd opened the gate in front of the kitchen, it wasn't unreasonable that they'd bump into one another eventually. The rest of Snake's team, however, did look rather surprised. How? How did you guys... How did you end up here? After a moment of silence and surprise, everyone suddenly began to talk, desperate to exchange information. They talked about the rooms they'd been through and how they'd ended up in the same place. Of course, none of it was very useful information, but that hardly mattered. They were happy to simply see one another again. Although the level of cheer varied greatly from person to person, each one of them was wearing some manner of smile, almost as though they had already forgotten about the death of the 9th man. No, thought Junpei, perhaps that wasn't it. Perhaps thoughts of his death were what drove them to smile at one another. Not in a morbid or hateful way, no, the 9th man had died. But they were still alive, and that was something to be happy about. A sort of simple, uncomplicated joy, Junpei thought. The joy of being alive. Still alive. He felt sorry for the 9th man, but more than anything, Junpei was just happy to be alive. There you have it. Our half of the story. His part finished, Ace fell silent. For a moment, Junpei was silent in thought. Then he spoke. Okay, let me see if I got all this straight. When you guys got here, the bases for the Reds were already gone. And you looked all over this room, but you couldn't find anything. So you figured that there might be something in the hallway with all the doors. So you went and had a look? Yeah. And while you were looking around, you heard voices? Uh-huh. So you followed the voices and came back here. Indeed. And that was how we found you. Junpei examined the 3 Reds again, just in case. On the bottom of each was a long, thin gap. It looked like a slot for something. Probably something electronic. Well, this isn't good. If the red isn't active, we can't keep going. Well, what about that hallway over there? Isn't there anything else we can do? Or anywhere else we can go, rather? No, there isn't. There are plenty more hospital rooms, but nothing else. Hospital rooms? That's what's behind all those doors? Yes. There are a number of individual rooms in addition to this large one. There was a door at the end of the hallway, but it was locked. There was an astrological symbol engraved near the keyhole, however. I was able to get a good feel of it. I believe it was the symbol of Jupiter. Not again. Those goddamn things are everywhere. I wonder what they all mean. For a moment, everyone was silent, deep in thought. While we're asking what things mean, what's the deal with this room? I mean, I thought this was a cruise ship, but I can't imagine a cruise ship would have a hospital like this. Of all people, it was 7 who answered, and with calm confidence. Well, I figure it's probably a hospital ship. Chances are it's the Gigantic. The Gigantic? Junpei looked confused. So did everyone else. What is this Gigantic? 7 knit his brows for a moment, then began to explain. The Gigantic. Okay, even though this is like exact same, it's not. Let me fast forward, but I guess because it's slightly new because of like the teams that were converging, and it wasn't like a new act break after that. I don't know. He explained that she had been a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century. The Titanic had two sister ships, who were identical to one another in nearly every aspect. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. She was initially intended to be a passenger liner like the Titanic, but soon after the ship was launched, the First World War began, and she was pressed into duty by the British Navy as a hospital ship. Sometime later, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. She managed to run aground after the incident, and consequently was not sunk. What, then, happened to the Gigantic after her fateful encounter in the Aegean Sea? One theory ran that a man named Lord Gordain purchased her. Lord Gordain, it seemed, had been one of the few survivors of the Titanic tragedy, and that trauma had turned him into an obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic. As his obsession deepened, he began to desire the Titanic itself. That, of course, was impossible. The Titanic lay at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. The Gigantic, however, had not survived such a dire fate, and as she was identical to her sister ship, she caught Lord Gordain's eye. So you're saying this Lord Gordain bought this ship?
Yeah, at least I think I am.
That's impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old. Pipe down, just pay attention. What? That's it? Well, have you got any proof?
Proof?
Proof that this ship is really the Gigantic.
Well, the ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic and a hospital ship. So I just figured...
Oh, for goodness. Don't tell me that's your only reason.
No, I've got more.
Like?
Well, I mean...
Seven looked around desperately, doing anything to avoid meeting Lotus's piercing stare. He scratched his head for a moment, then gave up. Finally, he opened his mouth.
Uh-oh.
Lotus sighed and shook her head. I guess your memory isn't back yet, is it?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Hey, wait a minute. Memory isn't back? Junpei was, he felt, legitimately shocked by what seemed to be new and very important information. Everyone else, however, seemed unimpressed. In fact, they all looked at Junpei as though he had said something very strange. He decided to revise his attitude for the next question. Wait, was I the only one that didn't know? In this fork, yes. Everyone nodded. Why?
Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't tell you, huh? I told the rest of them before we ran into you on the stairs. I told them I couldn't remember a damn thing from before I woke up.
What? Then, almost as if to save Junpei from further embarrassment, because yeah, when you're with Seven in the door 5 path, he tells you that he has amnesia. I like how in this path it's just like a minor thing, like, oh yeah, I have amnesia. But never mind that. A bell began to ring from far away. It sounded as though it was the clock at the main stairway. Junpei counted each chime carefully. 10, 11, 12. It's midnight. And we've still got 6 hours left, right?
We don't have any time to screw around. Let's get going. We gotta find the missing parts for the Reds.
What do you mean, find? How on earth do you propose we do that?
We've looked everywhere in this room. That only leaves one place to look.
One?
Well, I guess that's not really right.
Wait. Don't tell me you mean we need to search all of the other rooms.
Don't freak out. We already searched 4 of them.
4 rooms.
So we just have to split up the rest between the 8 of us. If each person does 6 rooms, there'll be 48 rooms, right?
So there are 48 rooms left. Her earlier experiences had apparently not encouraged Lotus to trust Seven. Seven scratched his head awkwardly.
I don't know.
After a little more discussion, they split up and headed toward the rooms to begin searching them. Junpei was chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from fore to aft. They also determined when they would return to report their findings, the next time the clock sounded the time. When it did, they would meet back in the large central room full of beds. If, during their search, any one of them were to locate the missing components, they were to yell for the others. If this strategy failed, they'd return to discuss their options later. The details decided, they left to begin searching. Out into the hallway they went, each to the rooms they'd been assigned. However, and now we're speeding up. So yeah, they went back to report their findings, but oh, would you look, the reds are fixed. But Clover is sad because Snake has gone missing, and they don't know where he went. So, they decide to split up and look for him. Oh crap, there's new options here. Because we never went to those other rooms. No, wait, no. But they're new? Is it because I never went in this particular order? Let's go here. Because down here we see Ace, so let's see what would have happened if we would have talked to Ace. With Jun in tow, Junpei jogged up to Ace. Hearing their footsteps, he turned to greet them.
Ah, hello there. Snake is... well, that's obvious, isn't it? I assume you haven't found him yet either?
Junpei nodded. I really wonder where he could have gone.
But wherever he's disappeared to, we must find him quickly as we can. Or as quickly as we can. For Clover's sake.
Right. Jun's face looked kinda enraptured. By the way, do you think Clover and Snake are really siblings?
Oh, that was Junpei. By the way, do you think Clover and Snake are really siblings? Why would you say that?
Why would you say that? The question seems somehow odd to Junpei. Why? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They don't look alike at all. Ace looked at him for a moment and then spoke.
Yes, you know, now that you mention it, they don't.
Now that you mention it.
Still, there are a great many siblings who do not look like one another. This really isn't rare.
Junpei wasn't sure why, or even if he was seeing what he thought he was, but he could have sworn that Ace's face tightened as he spoke.
At any rate, we really must find Snake as soon as possible. The clock is ticking. We really can't afford to waste any time. Very well. Let's get back to the search, shall we? You can leave this area to me.
Alright. Let's go, Jumpy. At Jun's urging, they left. They found themselves back at the stairs, but Junpei's mind was in turmoil. There was so much to think about, but... no, it would have to be put aside for now. As Ace had said, finding Snake was their top priority. Junpei did his best to clear his mind. Alright, where should we go next? So these are all new options? Right, the casino on B deck. I guess it's because on this path they never went to them, so it's gonna be new territory. Let's take a look around the casino. Okay, let's go. They turned and headed toward B deck. But then I can pass through this. So, yeah, this is where Lotus is recommending that we just form a truce and get out of here. But then she wasn't thinking about the 9th door. So yeah, she stays to mull that over. So, if we were to go to the first class cabin, B deck, let's go take a look at the first class cabin. It's really close. They turned around and took off down the hallway to their left. And here they ran into Clover, who is very upset that her brother is missing. So, yeah. If we go back there, we'll see that, like, Ace isn't there, so... Back to the large hospital room. Well, I mean, might as well just see this just for posterity's sake. Hey, why don't we go back to C deck? We can take a look at that hallway with all the rooms. Okay, let's get going then. Together they ran down the stairs. And yep, Ace isn't there. There's no point. Let's just go back to the large hospital room. And who did they see? Oh yeah, Santa. And he's checking out the red to see what happened. And he's curious about, like, oh, who put the things back in? So yep, it was 0, blah blah blah, Y, oop, wrong thing. Yeah, that's when Santa's getting suspicious. And we're done searching. So yeah, we can't keep searching. So that's when Lotus is doing the proposal thing. 2 teams, leaving behind 3 people with 2 teams of 4 and 3. I mean, she is right, but then, you know, we're arguing over who to leave, who to sacrifice, blah, blah, blah. They're fighting. They're getting worked up. And she's going around asking, like, don't you think I'm right? Hey, Clover. But then Ace is like, never mind. Stop fighting everyone. I'll stay behind. And then, like, that's when June is like, no, you can't. We all need to leave together. And she's pleading to Junpei for help, but then Ace fell out because he drugged himself to go to sleep. So, you know, he said, you know, have a nice dream and whatnot. And so they're like, okay, well, we can't let his sacrifice be in vain. We need to go. And now we get to choose a door. 20 minutes in. Oh, I wasn't expecting, like, a lot of new dialogue there. So, today, I want to go through door 8. I think I'm going to go with door 8. Okay, 8 it is. Yeah. Alright then, that means June's got to go through 7. What? Why? What? Santa grimaced and muttered angrily to himself, but finally began to explain. The 6 of us are going to keep going without leaving anyone behind. There's only 3 ways we can do it. Plan A. Go through 7 with 3, 5, 8, and go through 8 with 4, 6, 7. Plan B. Go through 7 with 4, 5, 7, and go through 8 with 3, 6, 8. Plan C. Go through 7 with 3, 6, 7, and go through 8 with 4, 5, 8. And that's it. Those are only options. In other words, 3 and 4 and 7 and 8 can never go through the same doors. You get it now? As Santa finished, June looked over at Junpei, tears welling up in the corners of her eyes. Oh no! You're saying we aren't going to see each other again for a long time? Junpei felt just as June did. He wanted to be at her side through whatever trials they were preparing to face. But he knew if they were to survive, he had to swallow his feelings. In order for the 6 of them to move forward, he and June had to be separated. He looked at June. He was scared to lose her, but he swallowed, steeled his resolve, and did his best to smile. Hey, come on. You're making it sound like we're never going to see each other again. We got to split up, but only for a while. This is just like when we went to the 4 and 5 doors, remember? We got split up then too, but we all met back up. I bet 7 and 8 are just like that. You mean they're connected somewhere? Yeah. Probably. Probably. She didn't sound very hopeful. It was 7 that interjected. I'm sure they're going to connect somewhere. Why? What makes you think so? If they don't connect, neither team can get through door 9. In other words, the game would end right here. Zero's been on top of his shit so far. I don't think he'd blow it now. I'm damn sure that son of a bitch wants to have his fun as long as possible. He's
He's not going to end this game until we get through the 9 door.
June said nothing. The tears were gone, but her eyes were still sad as they looked at Junpei. He met them, and with what reassurance he could manage, laid his hand gently on her shoulder. Everything's going to be fine. We're going to see each other again. I promise. June bit her lip and gave him an almost imperceptible nod. Yes. Promise? Her voice was barely above a whisper. Santa's voice shattered at the moment. Yawn, you guys are done, right? He stretched and continued. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Clover and I will both go into separate groups. I figure I'll take 7, and Clover can take 8. Any problems with that, Clover? Clover looked away and was silent for a moment. Whatever. It was more of a dismissal than an agreement, but Santa didn't seem to care. Alright, we're ready to go then. Let's move. At Santa's command, the group split and headed for their respective doors. Santa, 7, and June walked toward door 7, while Clover, Lotus, and Junpei headed for door 8. For a long moment, they stood in front of the door. Then Lotus laid her hand against her chest and turned to Junpei and Clover. Are you ready? Yeah. Yes. Then shall we go? The door had opened. A narrow hallway stretched out before them. Lotus and Clover leapt through the door. The moment they did, their bracelets beeped. The detonators in the bracelets had been activated. Junpei stepped forward to follow them. But as he was about to step over the threshold, he stopped. He looked to his left, toward door 7. June stood there, a mirror image of Junpei. She turned and looked toward him. Their eyes met. They nodded. Their farewell took almost 1.5 seconds. Then someone took hold of Junpei's arms and hauled him bodily through the door. He heard the sound of the numbered door slam shut behind him. His bracelet gave a cold electronic beep. 81 seconds left. Hurry. Lotus snapped at him and ran to the dead. Junpei and Clover followed her as fast as they could. Phew. It stopped. With a shaking hand, she wiped a few beads of sweat from her forehead. Clover, however, was calm. Aloof, perhaps. Pointless. She muttered to herself without emotion and began to walk down the hallway, leaving behind a confused Junpei and Lotus. Lotus watched the girls receding back with a mix of frustration and curiosity. What an unpleasant girl. I bet she's not very popular with the boys. What does that even matter? Her sarcasm seemed a little more biting than was perhaps necessary, but she sighed and started after the younger girl. After taking a moment to catch his breath, Junpei followed. The hallway made a number of turns before at last coming to a dead end. Set into the wall on the left side was a large iron door. For a few minutes they stood in front of the door, examining it. Above the door was a plate with the word laboratory engraved on it. A laboratory, huh? That doesn't sound very pleasant. I don't like the look of this place. Me either, but there aren't any other doors. It's not like we have a lot of choices. Junpei? Huh? Please, you first. Junpei suspected her politeness was motivated by something other than respect. Jump cut. Gah. Junpei muttered to himself and pushed open the iron door. His first steps inside were tentative and careful, but as he examined the room, it became clear that there was no imminent danger. Lotus followed him in, and Clover brought up the rear. The room they found themselves in was divided into two separate areas by a curved wall. A thick glass window built into that wall made it possible to see the other side of the division. Junpei walked to the window and looked through. What the hell? He wasn't sure what else to say. In the center of a room shaped like a quarter circle, a mannequin lay on what looked like a medical exam table. That looks so creepy. Junpei jumped a little. He hadn't noticed Lotus come up next to him. You don't think that thing is going to suddenly sit up or something, do you? Well, I don't know. I mean, look at all those cables sticking out of it. If we pressed the wrong button, I don't know. Stop it. Just thinking about it is terrifying. She was gripping her arms, the knuckles in her hands white. It was then that Junpei noticed Clover. She was still standing near the entrance of the room. Her face had the appearance of calm, but it was drawn and somehow sad. Somehow sad. Okay. There was something almost pitiful about her. Junpei walked over to her and, as kindly as he could, spoke. Are you okay? Clover looked away. What are you talking about? What? I'm just worried about you. You've been real quiet. What? I can't be quiet if I want to? Well, I mean, of course you can, Okay then, if I can be quiet if I want, just leave me alone, okay? Come on, you know I can't do that. We gotta work together. Clover bit her lip and was silent for a moment, then suddenly, Junpei, you just don't get it. Her cry took Junpei by surprise, and he stumbled backward a few steps, alarmed. My brother's not the kind of person who just leave me behind. Something happened to him. Something bad. Junpei had nothing to say. Lotus, jolted from her mannequin nightmares by Clover's voice, turned toward them. What happened? Clover's eyes slid to Lotus and back to Junpei. Look, just don't bother me, okay? Leave me alone. Finished, she turned around. Before Junpei or Lotus could say anything, Clover had begun to walk quickly away. Hey! Wait, Clover. Hold on. He might as well have been talking to a wall, for all the notice she took of his cries. Not even slowing down, she made for a doorway cut in the wall in front of her. Without even slowing down, she passed through the doorway. And without warning, an iron gate fell from the ceiling like a portcullis, sealing Clover in. What the heck? What's going on here? Clover grabbed hold of the iron bars and shook them as hard as she could. Hang on. I'll get it open. Junpei grabbed the bars and pulled. In a moment, Lotus joined them. The three of them pulled as hard as they could, but... Damn it, it's not moving. Wait! Are you just gonna give up? Just like that? No, I'm not giving up. This has gotta be another one of Zero's puzzles. If it is, then there's gotta be a way to open it. Junpei nodded. That's what I was thinking. Now all we gotta do is find it. Lotus and I can look around out here. Clover, you're gonna have to see if you can find anything in there. Oh, yes. I'm on it.
Grabbing the stylus. Let's seek a way out.
Okay, so what we got going on in here? There's really nothing here. Really nothing there. Okay. Hey, Clover. There's a door over here, too. Wait. I'll be right there. I can hear her over there. Is this door gonna... Nope. Damn it. I can't open it. Clover. What about your side? It won't work. can't even move the knob. It looks like this door is the exit. The door on the right just goes to the laboratory. Nope. This door isn't going anywhere. No dice. It won't open. I mean, that's about as much as I expected. I don't think Zero would let us out of the room quite that easily. Alright, so what we got over here? A lot of stuff here. I don't know how we could use any of these. Well, I can say for sure that I do know how to use at least one of these things. Which one? The one on top, I think. It's a power cable. Power cable, huh? I'll take that. Three-prong power cable. Having one of these extension cords made me very popular in one of my classes in college, because it was a web design class where the professor was very useless and wasn't really talking about web design. So some of us in the back would just sit with our laptops and just surf the internet or play games on Steam. But because it was always like first come, first serve to the two outlets in the back, I would just bring an extension cord and like take one of the outlets, which meant, oh, 3 more like ports that you could use, and that just made me so popular essentially, because some of the other students would just come in, would rush and be like, hey, do you have any open space left? And it's like, oh, yep, okay. And they would just plug in. It was amazing. This is definitely a power cable. Do you remember if we ran into anything that didn't have power? We're gonna find out. This is a keyhole. Looks like a keyhole for the activation key. Okay, well, we need to find one of those. Hands on the clock have stopped moving. Clock may stop, but time goes on. No time to screw around. Need to figure a way out of here. Time waits for no man. Mouse. Monitor doesn't have a power cable, so one end of the cable needs to be connected to a monitor. The other end needs to plug in under the desk. Alright, let's just slip you in. Huh? Well, shoot, I can't use this. What's wrong? This cable has 3 prongs, but the socket only has 2 holes. Oop. Okay, screen went black there. It's not gonna fit is what I'm saying. In other words, we're gonna need a plug to change the power cable to one with 2 prongs. That's right. Ooh, hello. Ethanol. I wonder if this is for antisepsis. Oh, it says anhydrous ethanol. Anhydrous? Is that different from the regular ethanol? Come on, that's common knowledge. Anhydrous ethanol is a powerful cleaner. It can even erase marks left by a permanent marker. Okay. Whole bunch of steel lockers. The 9 on the right all have little red lights on them. Red lights, huh? Well, can't hurt to give these babies a try. Yep, this is a thought. Locked tight, all 9 of them. I wonder if there's anything important in there. Anything in the boxes? Nope, papers and stuff. What's in the box? It looks like it's quite full. As far as I can tell, it's a bunch of notes about some kind of experiments, but it's all really technical and stuff. I don't really get it. You're very useful here, Junpei. Clover, there's a door in the back, isn't there? Wait right there. I'll take a look. Oh no, it's locked. I can't get it to move. Junpei, do something, please. Oh my god, I tried to back out. Like, I'm not... Okay. It's a rack. There are a bunch of cables on it. This might cut the outer stuff off the cables. I guess see the wires inside. I know what kind of table this is, but part of it's all black. There's a pin lying over here. I think someone probably used it to make the table black. Well, if they only used a pin on one part of it, there's probably something underneath all that pin. Clover, do you think you can erase it? Yeah, sure. Oh, this is a permanent marker. Junpei, do you know how to erase ink from a permanent marker? Erase ink from a permanent marker, huh? Give me just a minute, Clover. I'll be right back. Do I pass the ethanol? Yep, there we go. Should be able to wipe off that permanent ink with it. What am I gonna wipe with? Oh, well, your clothes, of course. Kidding, just kidding. Please don't look at me like that. You're scaring me. Hey Clover, how are the power cables over there? Huh? What do you mean? Does the plug have 3 prongs or 2? I don't know what you're talking about. Let me go look. Guess she does have to kind of crouch down to get a look under there. The cable on the monitor has, it's got 2 of those little metal things. What does that mean? That's it. Okay, can you unplug that cable and bring it over here? Okay, but... Well, I can unplug it, but it's connected to the main computer. I can't take it over to you. Damn it, that's no good then. How about just the plug? What? The plug? Well, maybe more like a connector? Sort of thing that makes a plug with the 3 metal thingies into a plug with 2 metal thingies. Still useless? Not useless, not useless at all. That's just what we were looking for. Okay. Can you hold on for a little bit? And back down she goes. Alright, unplugged. I'll hand it to you over at the bars, okay? Teamwork! Wait, could you wipe out that permanent ink? Look, Clover, right now at this moment, you're the only person we can depend on. Trusting you with this. You trust me? I feel kind of special. Can I get the plug? And she's just wandering around the table. I don't think she even knows we're calling her. Clover can use the cloth on the table? Use, huh? Soak it in ethanol and then use it to wash off all the stuff from the permanent marker, okay? Right, okay, so I gotta soak the cloth with ethanol. Well, she's got the cloth, but she seems to be having a little trouble with the bottle of ethanol. When she's ready, I should ask her to get to work on that stuff on the table. What? Child lock or something? Soak the cloth in ethanol and... Junpei! It's working! It's wiping the permanent ink off! Huh? Some kind of weird drawing under all the permanent ink. What's the deal with that drawing Clover found? Maybe I should ask her to take another look at the table. I wonder what this is. A bunch of numbers and some kind of grid. I can't see it from here. Clover, you've got a pen and a notebook, right? Could you write those numbers down and then hand them to me through the bars? Okay. Roger. Here, Junpei. I wrote down all the numbers from the desk on here.
Paper with numbers on it acquired.
Alright, we can check the file later, but right now I want that. There we go. 2-prong plug. Thanks. So we're going to go ahead and combine. Okay, put the 2-prong plug into the head of this power cable. There we go. Now let's check that file. Is this Sudoku? 3, 2, 4, 1. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, regardless. Alright, I've got the 2-prong power cable in my hand. Pretty sure this will work. Under the desk I go. Let's just plug this thing into the monitor. Alright, that ought to do it. Alright, let's turn the power on. I don't think anything's going to happen. Why not? Well, it's not connected to the main computer. You never know until you try.
Pretty optimistic.
Junpei pushed the button on the front of the monitor. With a soft hum, it turned on. Oh, so it's a thin client? Streams of letters that made no sense to Junpei began to scroll across the screen. He had hoped it would turn on, but he hadn't expected this. Huh? It's actually working. So it would seem. Isn't that kind of weird? What? Well, it's not connected to the main computer, right? There's just this keyboard and monitor. The only cable connected to this thing is the power cable we just plugged in. So, why is it working? Maybe it's a wireless display. Clearly, this was a reasonable explanation to Lotus. Wireless display? Yes, it connects to your computer wirelessly. Hence the name. Have you been living in a cave, Junpei? He most certainly had not, but... is that normal? Yes, at least where I worked. As they spoke, the lines of letters suddenly stopped and disappeared. The only thing left on the screen was the word pass, followed by a colon. It looks like we need to enter a password. Again. There must be a hint around here somewhere. Could you go take a look? Yeah, I'm on it. What are you going to do? I'll see if I can do something about this on my own. On your own? Yep, on my own. Lotus pulled over the nearest chair and dropped herself down onto it in front of the keyboard. I kind of want to make this the thumbnail screenshot, but I mean, there's two big reasons why that might not be the best idea. Then again, I got away with some stuff in Danganronpa, aside from one thumbnail where 4 of the women characters were flat out topless, but they were still covering up. But yeah, YouTube thought that one was a bit much. This one should be fine though, maybe. For a second she stared at the screen. She kneaded her hands, knuckles popping, and twisted her back left then right. Alright, let's kick some ass. Lotus smiled to herself and rubbed her hands together in anticipation. Then before Junpei had time to blink, she was typing at an incredible speed, the click-clack of the keys running together like machine gun fire. What? Junpei was, for once, at a loss for words. Didn't expect that, did you? Of course I didn't. Lotus grinned, pleased with herself. Well, at any rate, that was pretty amazing. Did you fall for me again? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What do you mean, again? I'm not into you. I know. Don't be so stubborn, shy boy. I'm not being stubborn, I'm not shy, and I'm not a boy. I'm a young, healthy 21-year-old man. I'm not gonna fall for an old lady like you. Ooh. It was at that point he realized he fucked up. Suddenly, the guttural roar of a furious animal filled the room. Or so Junpei thought for just a moment. Lotus's hand suddenly stopped and her shoulders stiffened. Old lady? Did you just say old lady? Ah, crap, thought Junpei. I went too far. Oh well, it was a nice life while it lasted. I've had enough of you. Go somewhere else. You're bothering me. What? Go see if you can find a password hint or something. I'll try and open this from here. You're distracting me. Go. Now. Lotus waved her hand in the universal gesture of dismissal. Junpei was clearly not wanted. Time to cut my losses, Junpei thought, and left as quietly and inoffensively as he could. Junpei, you need to learn tact. Junpei wandered around the room for a while, looking for anything that might help find the password for the computer. Unfortunately, he found no clues whatsoever. Nothing. He asked Clover if there was anything useful in the laboratory, but her answer was no. Damn, he thought. Looks like we've hit a dead end this time. But just as he was about to tell Lotus that his search had returned nothing. Alright, bullseye. Junpei, I did it. Excited, cheering erupted from near the monitor. He hurried back to find Lotus looking rather smug. She gestured for him to look at the screen, and he did. The strange text from before was gone. In its place was something entirely different. 9 squares arranged in a 3x3 square. What is that? I don't have any idea. It just showed up after I cracked the password. You think it's a puzzle? It certainly looks like one. As she spoke, Lotus stood up. Huh? Aren't you gonna, I don't know, do more computer stuff? I can't do any more. It won't let me do any more programming. See, the keyboard. Nothing. So there's nothing more I can do. Dang, she's a programmer, huh? Alright. Well, I guess I'll leave this to you then, Junpei. What? Let me take a break, alright? I did my part. Wasn't sure what to say to that. She certainly had done her part. In fact, without Lotus, they probably would have run completely aground. I shouldn't rely on other people so much, Junpei thought to himself. From here on out, he told himself, he would rely on no one else. Junpei crossed his arms and stared at the puzzle shown on the screen. So, yeah, this is one of the old, like, get everything to be green. But I remember the order that they showed us the stuff in. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like I would have preferred if I didn't have the hint for that. I don't know. Alright. I solved it. Did you hear a noise just now? Yeah, I did. It sounded like something unlocking. Where did it come from? Well, these are green now. Look, Junpei. The lights on the lockers are green. We must have unlocked it with the computer puzzle. There's more than one key in here. This one is small and looks like it goes to some sort of machine. And this one has the Earth symbol on it. I think the Earth symbol matches a keyhole in a door on the A deck. Well, if that's the case, we probably don't need the Earth key right now. Alright then, Earth key. I'll just tuck you away deep in my pocket. Now as for the other key, it's an activation key. I know where that goes. It was just at that moment that he heard a voice behind him. It was Clover. Hey Junpei, do you have a minute? He put the puzzle aside for the moment and walked over to Clover. What's up? Well, never mind. Hey, hold on a minute. What does... Sorry. Just forget about it. It's nothing. Before he could say anything else, she spun around and ran back down the stairs. What the hell was that? After waiting a few minutes to see if she would return, Junpei sighed, shook his head, and went back to searching. Wow, that was, eventful. This key. The shape sure makes it seem like it goes to this machine. Alright, I'm turning it on. Okay, the monitor is on now. And it's full of letters. It's showing some kind of warning. Power restored to experimental device. Emergency system will activate in the event of abnormal subject behavior. Okay. Typing on this keyboard isn't doing squat. This is like an examination table. There's a creepy mannequin in here, guys. Junpei, this thing in here is on now. Yeah, that's because we activated the power over on this side. Could you, like, play with it a little? Okay. Yeah. I'll turn this dial here. Turn. I don't think it's working. Nothing happened. Oh, maybe she missed something. Should ask her to look around the room again. It's a sink. Watch here, there's these weird colored stains all over the sink. Nothing on the rack. Something sticking out of the mannequin's head, like wires or something. What the hell are they doing in there? Huh? Why is she all quiet now? You're doing experiments on humans. Probably. Oh man, now she looks sad. Scribblings from the table already. The stairs just came down. The bars and gate just above me. These lockers are a little larger than the ones on top. See if there's anything useful in there. And no, nothing. Don't need the computer anymore. There are two levers here. Do you think they activate something? Oh, why don't you move one? Alright, I'll give it a try. Nope. Doesn't look like anything's happened. Insert the key and activate this machine. Nothing. Control for an electronic door lock. Red light on the display. That means it's locked. We can't open that. The lever is down. Will that have an effect? Maybe if you increase the voltage? Roger. Will do. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way to the max voltage. Max voltage? Hey! Wait, Clover! Aw, shit. I guess that is a more safe for work thumbnail, but we need the clickbait here. What? I think, oh my god. The mannequin's head. Oh man, that sounds like a fire alarm. What the hell? Fire detected! Fire detected! The emergency system will be activated. Evacuate the room immediately. Oh my freaking god, did that actually... What? That was the worst puzzle. Junpei! Look at the light. Yes, it's green. The emergency system is activated and disabled the lock. Now I can save Clover. Junpei! Come on, kid. Jump! She's safe. Oh man, that smoke's some serious business. Time to close this door again, I think. Clover, are you okay? Are you hurt? Damn, she's coughing so hard she can't even talk. Of course I'm not alright. What the hell took you so long, you big jerk? I was almost dead. Sorry, I was going as fast as I could. You two can do this later. Right now we need to get the hell out of here. That fire's not going to stay in that room forever. So we're just going to leave that unattended? Alright. One way to do it. Just breaking the puzzle with fire. Yay! I guess I don't. That's just. Huh. Okay then. That was the laboratory. It wasn't graceful, but hey, we made it out. Next time, the paths converge again. And then they split again. We'll see what happens then. Thank y'all for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time for some more Let's Play 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. 1 broken puzzle because of fire. Goodbye.